All right, we're back with you. It's been an exciting Monday already. Let's take a look at what the market is doing with our quotes provided by Bar Chart, shall we? We'll go ahead and take a look at this corn board. And on the big board right now, we're still higher, but we're easing back a little bit. We have September now 3 higher at 491.5. I think we opened about 7 cents higher. We have December corn now 2 3/4 higher at 497.5. There for a while, we were over $5. So stuff starting to sag a little bit on the corn. How about soybeans? Are they hanging on to gains? Yes, no, they are giving back ground. Let's put it that way. August, 26 1/4 higher. We're at 1469 1/4 now, but it had been as high as 1504 3/4 overnight. So you can tell it's given back about 35 cents from its earlier gains. November now 14 1/4 higher at 1357.5. That's given back quite a bit of ground as well. Well, let's see what wheat wants to do today. We'll start in Chicago. We'll go to September. We're now just fractionally higher. We're up 3/4 at 651 3/4, so not much going on. Deferreds are about 1.50 higher. In Kansas City wheat, September up 18 at 818 per bushel. That's a whole different story. And look at that low last night, 787 1/4, and now we're at 817. Wow, that's a big 30-cent gain right there. Now in spring wheat in Minneapolis, September is 13 higher at 830, and there again, that's about 23 cents off of its earlier loss, or its earlier lows, I should say, and now we're within 2 cents of our high of the overnight trade and early this morning. So let's bring in the one and only Chris Swift in studio. He's with Swift Trading, and he's based in Nashville. Well, hope you had a good weekend. We have a big day coming up tomorrow. It's kind of an extended weekend, but we have to work in the middle of it. It's just a weird one today.
That's okay.
But the market's very choppy today. And what does that mean?
Well, we got a lot of stuff to have to sort through. I mean, if we look at the discrepancies that we saw last week in the USDA report there, where we had a tremendous number of acres of corn planted, not near as many beans planted, and that's a 6 million acre difference from what we thought we were going to have. And we're all kind of wondering, how did the seed companies miss that kind of big swap over? And again, just a lot of discrepancies that'll have to be worked out in the market, because it was so off balance that it's going to take several weeks probably to get back down to somewhere where we can really see where the price of corn and soybeans should be, and actually what those acres are.
In this modern era, have you ever seen a discrepancy that big?
Not in grains like that, no. I can remember years back where they would find a few bushels behind the barn or this, that, and other, and USDA would miss it a little bit. But it seems like all the analysts missed it. I don't recall an analyst saying, no, this is going to be so skewed towards corn, it's not even going to be funny. But I think it caught us all off guard in a manner and told us how imperfect we still are in a perfect world.
So how does this change your marketing plan now moving forward? For this new crop especially here, I mean, how patient are you willing to be before you reward that market?
Well, we try to sort out what it really means. And I think in the soybean market, it probably has the greatest impact, because in the corn, if you're using soybean meal, you can use corn now. It's going to be significantly cheaper for your protein content. But we know that we had increased our crushing capabilities for biodiesel this year. So that's going to make it really interesting, because beans for the bean oil crush was going to be very significantly increased this year. And now we know we're going to be shorter of beans too.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's look at the soy products here for a moment. We'll go to soy meal. Well, you have August up $2.90, Chris. We're at $416.50. So it's doing okay. It's not a runaway train, like I like to say. Soybean oil, 99 points higher on August at $62.69. Is that a relatively small gain in your book or not?
It is, because it was limit up. Well, it was limit down when they came out with some of the earlier export numbers for the bean oil and for the biodiesel. Really? It was when they came out and the EPA did not increase the biodiesel fuels, the mandates on it. So bean oil went limit down, and then when this information came out, bean oil went back limit up, and it was up sharply on Friday, and good follow through today.
What is it about Kansas City wheat that's causing it to lift so much and Chicago can't?
I guess because we've just gotten through the harvest. We actually see how bad the crop was. I think that's what it is more than anything. Because everything outside of that area was beautiful. You know, when you look at wheat harvest, anything outside of that really drought area, it was in great shape. And most all it's been cut as far as I've seen.
And in the Mid-South area and northward, the soft red wheat seemed to be in pretty good shape.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
got harvested in good shape. And
Yep.
I tell you what, that soybean acre figure, I don't know if they're counting all the double crop beans that went in, but boy, they went in right
Yes.
behind the combine and about an inch or two of rain on top of that. Wow. Okay, we'll come back in just a moment and we'll take a look at our livestock trade with help from this guy right after this. All right, we're back talking with Chris Swift, and now let's dive into our livestock trade. And we'll see what live cattle want to do now with our quotes from bar chart. We're still lower, Chris. We have August down 95 cents. We're at 176.22, and October is down 65 cents at 178.90. Kind of status quo there from last half hour. On the feeder cattle market, remember, we were up over $5 Friday, and now you have the August going down $1.67 at 245.90, just about 25 cents off of its earlier low this morning. Quite a ways off its earlier high. And you have September dropping $1.40 at 249.42. Let me stop right there. So feeders were over $5 higher Friday. You're down about $1.40, $1.60. Is that a trade you'll take any day of the year?
Well, that's it for you. Anything to relieve some of the margin requirements on there. And that's what a lot of it is. A lot of hedgers are out there. They got to meet the margin requirements. And we're fixing to get into a big time frame where sales increase significantly. We'll move tremendously much more inventory over the next several weeks than what we had before. And so you'll get a lot more volume and activity in the futures market as those hedges are lifted or placed back on with new cattle that they have bought.
So I know a lot of trading is done electronically now, but do you think it's still a pretty light trade on grain and livestock today?
It's extremely light. Today will be probably, a lot of people on vacation. They took an extended holiday, and it was very thin when I watched it this morning, and I imagine it'll be that way all day.
All right. Well, let me pull up the lean hog trade. Let's go to the board and take a look at what they are doing. Well, there's some plus signs for you. We have August up $1.87 at 94.47. When you look at the lean hog chart on that August contract, let's go ahead and bring that up for 3 months here. Where do we stand? Do you think it looks a little toppy, or does it have elbow room to go?
Well, the lean hog index has been rising pretty steadily, so I think you've still got some room up to go. We're not at a elevated price by any means in the low 90s, so we could easily dip back up to 100, and that wouldn't, I think, surprise anybody. It is the summer, and tomatoes are coming in, and we get the bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich time frame for the pork bellies. You remember the pork belly market, don't you?
Wow. BLT angle on the hog market.
Earn those gray hairs there.
Wow, you figure everything out. That's awesome. All right. Well, that's the way things look right now. Thanks for the help. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Happy Independence Day.
Yes, you the same.
All righty. Well, Tammy, with that, I'll throw it back to you.